What is the new best Bonemeal farm now that there's 22 new farms that can run without a player? Because with the changes coming with 1.21.5 and above, plants now grow in any loaded chunks without the player needing to be nearby. With 76 different things that can be composted, which one of these is now the best? But not all these items can be farmed up. So first off, we can remove spore blossoms along with tall grass and large fern, since they are non-renewable. Similar to them is small drip leaf, which is only renewable through wandering traders. We can't make a playerless Bonemeal farm if it uses a player, so let's remove all of these that need players in order to get. And removing those narrows it down a lot. But we're still left with many farms that use Bonemeal in order to produce Bonemeal, which ends up losing more Bonemeal than what it makes. With those removed, we still have all of these left. Now we have several farms that uses mobs in order to harvest, and they're notoriously slow. So let's also get rid of these. Now we're down to the final ones, but a few of these are just a different variation of some others. So out of the 3 types of kelp, the kelp item is the best, and we'll get rid of the other 2. For the pumpkins, the seeds Bonemeal more efficiently than the blocks, so we'll get rid of those. But for the melons, the slices are actually the best. The 2 vines grow as well as get composted at the same rates, so we'll just keep the weeping one as it's easier to farm up. Cactuses and sugarcane both grow at the same rate and are composted at the same rate. And since cactuses will farm themselves, we'll get rid of the cane. Out of the 2 types of moss, the pale moss doesn't produce azaleas, which means it produces less Bonemeal overall, making the normal moss better. Out of the final 7, the weeping vine is the slowest growing. Whenever it tries to grow, it only has a 10% of actually succeeding. And when harvest, there's only a 1/3 chance it will actually drop an item every time a block is broken. The next worst one is the cactus, as it needs to try to grow 16 times before it actually grows once. Glowberry is a little bit better, but it has the problem that even though it grows, it only has an 11% chance of producing the berries which are needed in order for the item to drop. But 10 times better than them is the pumpkin seeds. But in order to simply harvest them, they have to be grown in inefficient rows. But if you grow melons instead of pumpkins, then you'll get twice as much Bonemeal. But like the pumpkins, they can't easily be farmed efficiently. Next is kelp, which is technically worse than melons, but because it can be farmed efficiently, it is slightly better than melon. But you would need a kelp farm that is this big in order to compete with the next one, which is the moss farm. As a single simple module this big can produce just as much Bonemeal per hour. You can easily build any of my farms shown here with the full tutorials on my YouTube channel.